In terms of Mundy, as in parcel properties development, they're doing about 1,900 homes for the whole thing.
1,900 lots?
Yeah, 1,900, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a big area.
It's basically more than Lakelands.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive.
And that's just parcel property.
How many stages are they doing? Do you even know?
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Land Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde and
Catherine Smith, good morning.
Hello, how are we?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all. Not too bad. Glad to be back podcasting.
I know.
Always enjoy it.
Always a
Always
thrill.
enjoy it, yeah.
Today we're doing a suburb hotspot, which
Yeah.
we are getting a lot of interest about. So I thought I would just blabber for 15 minutes on it.
Yeah, because it's just been an area that's just kind of been farmland essentially, just sat there and then all of a sudden, boom, we're going, right?
Yeah, it's very rural and it's still really rural, you know. So when you look at it on like Google Maps, it looks like a farm because it is, to be fair. We are in its very, very early stages and that's really exciting for everyone. Either if you're an investor to get in early or if you're a first home buyer and trying to get something still quite affordable. I think that's where that sweet spot is at the moment.
Yeah.
It is called Mundy Jong. I do refer to it as Mundy.
Right.
So just because that's where the parcel properties land estate is called Mundy.
Yeah. And that's the only main one out there just now, isn't it?
Yeah,
But there's plans for others to be there. I've seen through the grapevine hearing that there's more coming and quickly.
There's lots happening there. So let's break that Mundijong in general as a suburb. It is sort of that southeast corridor of Perth, probably 40 minutes drive to Perth CBD.
Yeah.
So we are still in Perth metro area. So 40 minutes is not actually that far out, but with Perth's population, we're now really just needing to release a lot of the rural areas and create sort of house dwellings for people.
Yep.
So, we're sort of starting from scratch, creating these small communities and sort of connecting them all quite quickly the last sort of 10 years. So Mundijong is a little bit of an extension of Hilbert Haines and going sort of south of that, and then an extension of Whitby, which is an extension of Byford. So they're all kind of connecting
And
with
then
each other.
slowly starting to creep towards Baldivis sort of thing. Like I thought a bit further from that, yeah.
So Baldivis obviously had huge growth. What was it, 21% the last 12 months?
Oh, yeah.
Mundijong, sort of the east extension of that, and St. Carnup is in between the two as well. So they're kind of moving very quickly together rapidly.
I mean, there's not much in Mundijong, right? What I know of it is I've got friends, or my sister-in-law's auntie has a big blueberry farm out there. Yeah. And then there's obviously the big brewery. There's the Kings Road Brewery.
I actually think where you can pick blueberries.
Yeah. You may have done it there. And they've got the Kings Road, and then they've got the pub, the Kings Road Brewery, which is a kind of unique because honestly, it's got a big Sunday session, but it's got a massive playground in it, and it's all confined, and it's miles away from anything, so it's the only place.
Yes.
And if you don't get there early on a Sunday, you don't get in.
Yeah.
And closes the gates. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the population, it almost connecting quite quickly to all these sort of new home build areas in these little communities.
Yeah.
We touched on Hilbert not long ago and the growth that Hilbert's had, I think 30% in the last 12 months. Hilbert itself had basically a plan to do about 12,000 new home builds. It's on its last legs. Now we're looking 740, to get in there. Where back in the early days, 5 years ago, we were doing them in the 300,000s. So now it's double that. So Mundijong is sort of the new Hilbert, if you will, or even the new Baldivis. So it's really just starting, and that's why it's exciting for either investors trying to, so obviously they're going to double their growth probably the next 5 years, or just first home buyers trying to get something affordable. So there's sort of that nice sweet spot.
It's not terrible to access. I mean, as it grows, the roads will have to increase. We understand that, but right now, for that one estate, it would be fine with the two estates. The estates come as we predict. The infrastructure will come, but you're not far away from infrastructure. That's
that's what's exciting about Mundijong, because where it is in terms of the Perth sort of metro layout is a lot of the infrastructure is already in place in terms of the roads. The main roads are already connected to the freeways and all the rest of it, but then also the train line's already there. So Byford train line's been approved, and also Mundijong is coming after that.
Okay.
So there is actually a train line that goes through Mundijong, but that goes into our southern corridor down to Albany.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the actual tracks are already there. They're just actually going to add that to the metro train line.
So, and this is going to come out is this going to come out the Frio train line? Is that going to be an extension of that one, do you think?
I think it's going to go sort of that Armadale line.
Comes off at the
Armadale line, the east one.
And it comes down.
Yeah, so it's going to go Armadale and Byford, and then it will go on.
They're still talking about a Frio train line coming through Coburn or something, isn't it? Or something along that line.
Like the metro now?
Yeah, coming out that way, I think. But
it will be of the actual train line, not the metro now.
Okay, cool.
Yes, but it's basically already been approved for the train station. But because the track's already there and actually running for the Southern Corridor, it's probably within a couple of years. It's actually not that far off.
To get it set up.
Yes, so that's really exciting. Is the actual main infrastructure is already there because the population is already there in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's really just about getting those rural blocks, subdividing and moving there. We know there's obviously a lot of primary schools there already. High schools are coming. But in terms of town planning, what they're doing is, they have to have certain capacity for all these kids coming, and schools are being approved. So it's going to be completely different in 5 years.
Probably similar to what they've done with Lakelands, because you had Warnborough train station and Manda train station. They just stuck with Lakelands train station on the route, right, and built it in.
And then they've got a shopping centre there.
Yeah, so same sort of thing. So, just build on top of the infrastructure that's there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar also to like Hilbert, where they'll have its own library and, little
Good investment. Good investment if you can stick it out, sort of thing, if you're not wanting it straight away.
It's a long-termer because we're in stage 1. So what I mean by that is if you go there now, you're just driving in farmland or blueberry farms, if you will. There's really nothing there. The only one that started is Parcel Property. Parcel Property is obviously one of our major land developers here at Perth. They've started Mundy Jong. So they've called the land estate Mundy.
Got in easy, got in quickly.
I know. So they have the first one's out, but they are sold out every land release. It's very difficult to get land there. In terms of price point, their land releases are in the 2s. So
well, no stamp duty. Well, that's going as well, isn't it?
And that's why everyone loves it, because the price point is extremely, friendly for investors and first home buyers. It won't stay there forever, but obviously first in best dressed, that's sort of the energy of Mundy Jong as well, because what's happened to the neighbours of Hilbert and Baldivis. Obviously, if you're stage 1 Baldivis, you're probably making 600 now.
Proof in the pudding, right? Proof in the pudding, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's what's exciting about Mundy Jong. We're so early, but there's so much happening at the same time. But also at the same time, because the government is needing land release there, they're moving approvals really quickly. A lot less red tape. Things are not as tedious. Kind of like you mentioned, there's going to be a lot of other land developers coming through, which obviously will bring the community really quickly. But it's one to watch for the next 5 years.
Definitely. So what's the stats? What's the numbers telling us?
Okay, so let's go through stats. Everyone loves a good stat. Now, which is quite alarming. 12 months ago, it was 553,000 for the median 4x2 there, okay? 12 months ago was May 2025. Now, 2024.
Yep.
May 2025 now is when we're filming. We're now at 674,000 for median. So it's gone up just 110,000 as the median in 12 months.
Still a little bit under the median house price for actual Perth or Metro, so which is good.
Yeah, so the median now in Perth is 806,000 for the Perth metro area. So being in the 6s is obviously very enticing for the young families or people looking for something affordable, really. That's where we're at. But the growth is still there. 110,000 in 12 months, I would gladly take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's 22% growth in 12 months. In terms of stats before that, there's actually not a lot because there wasn't really any stats because it was a very much just
acreage, isn't it?
Yeah. So now we're getting a little bit more statistics on that from REWA. But it's because it's so new as well. There's actually not a lot. It's only the last 12 months that we can actually gather information. But 110 grand, it won't be long until we'll be doing house land packages in the 700s there pretty quickly. So
a lot of that will be driven by the cost of building a house.
Yeah. And then we also look what's happened on the neighbour side, which is Whitby. So Mundy Jong is west of Whitby, which is the extension of Byford.
Yeah.
So Whitby went up, I think, 200 grand the last 24 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's mad.
I know. I'm a big Whitby fan, but yeah, the pricing now is extremely.
I mean, Byford's awesome. If you go down and visit it, I mean, we spoke about it. It's such a great little community. Like, it's got everything you need. Has that real laid back atmosphere about it as well, you know. So
very nature based. So sort of that eastern corridor, a lot of like nature parks and nature walks, which I like.
the bowling club's good.
I don't know about the bowling
Oh,
club.
I know about the bowling club. The bowling club's fantastic on a Sunday.
Take Tony's word on that, but
I
I
know.
like that they keep that sort of
I know the pubs.
rural feel to it.
It's got that club has got like the country feel about it, you know, that country golfy kind of like chilled out club. It's really good. I mean, it's
But then you also think you're only 40 minutes from Perth CBD, so you're like, you're not even that far out, but you have that.
this will look maybe not look as enticing, but look past the time you build the house, the time you get in there, the time you've settled in a couple of years away. That's going to be a completely different place in 2 years, and then 4 years, and then 5 years, and then you'll be like, wow, I made.
I mean, look at
300K.
Hilbert 5 years ago. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
it's crazy.
Takes one of the you know, parcel are big, but one of the big, you know, the stockies or satellites that come in, and they literally build communities.
All the playgrounds, and
Yeah,
the barbecues.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the ones that will put that down. So I'd be very interested to see what that's going to be. I'd love to come back on this one in 12 months and see what's happening in Mundy Jong.
Money's definitely one to watch and one to put money into.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that because we're so early. So it's like we know what's happened in the neighbouring suburbs, how quickly the growth happened, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that when we're doing those sort of neighbouring suburbs, we could get someone in, you know, young family or single mom for this price, and now she's doubled her money, and there's the stories they want. I think Mundy Jong's have very much a similar energy to that. It's like, if you do it now, you know, in 5 years' time, it's going to be, you know.
It's just the house prices as well. The build price is just a little bit, is still high at the moment, and that's obviously driven by trades and suppliers. You know, I'm well in that industry, and I can see it happening, and it's not the build-up driving the prices, it's not the trades driving the prices, it's just supply and demand, like in any other world, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we've still got to stick that out. That's going to be there for a good few years as well.
Definitely don't think build prices will go down, but I don't think they're increasing either. They're sort of stabilising a little bit now.
I'm seeing we're getting better quality now because the demand's still there, but they're not getting fleeced.
Yeah.
There's still certain areas of the industry around, you know, double bricks, you know, people are starting to walk away from that, you know, 7-star energy ratings putting pressure on that. What that's going to look like, I mean, I think we've talked about, we're going to have a podcast on that once 7-star energy ratings really bedded in a little bit more and we're understanding it.
Yeah.
I have my theory on double brick will still work, but how much insulation do you have to put in, or going the veneer way, which is brick on the outside and then like steel or timber frame. Can that be? I'm very keen to see how it all works. You know, it's changing a way that WA has done things for a long time, but
particularly, you know, like say a Mundy Jong where it is a little bit more on the east, you know, and how the energy will be impacted because you don't obviously have the coastal, right?
Well, that's exactly what I'm thinking, because Mundy Jong or Monday everything will be 7-star energy rated. There's that kind of bit mild crossover just now, but they're stuck on it, so yeah.
In terms of rentals, you're looking $650 to $680 per week for a 4x2 as a median.
Is that on the big acreages though?
No, these are sort of the new home builds. There's not a lot of stock, obviously, because it's still very new, and that's why you're getting that very high rental yield. So you're looking sort of 5% up for a rental yield. I think it's going to be like that for a while because there's obviously people moving into that area, but there's not a lot of housing yet, you know.
Yeah.
So sort of that little catch-up game with it as well.
Wow.
In terms of Mundy, as in parcel properties development, they're doing about 1,900 homes for the whole thing.
900 lots?
Yeah, 1,900, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a big area.
It's basically more than Lakelands.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive.
And that's just parcel property.
How many stages are they doing? Do you even know? How many is on the release?
No, now I think we're still like stage 3 or 4. Like we're still very early.
So what they're only released, what, 400 maybe, if that?
Wouldn't even be that, I don't think.
Jeez, okay, cool.
Yep. But that's the thing. We're so early in it. But it's 1,900 just for parcel. When you look at it on Google Maps, you see all the land around it. What else is coming? It's going to be crazy.
It's got to happen, because we know.
There's going to be shopping centres and schools. It's got so much will happen.
Just look north of the river and go all the way up to Yanchep, and you just see that there's, you know.
Like Brabham, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just no big parcels of land
Yeah.
up north, down south. You can see it all, and just, you know,
See the
you'll
opportunity.
see where it's going to happen. Yeah.
So my advice is, if you have 700K and less, Mundy Jong is where I would be investing or putting my money as a first home buyer using the grants. it's very rare to get something so close to the city and in such an early stage now. Everything now is a little bit more established, so the growth is a little bit more slower. Now we're in that sweet spot.
And it's not a hard drive for tradies and that to get people out there, especially if they've been that many
They're just surrounded by new builds, that whole area.
And the amount of movement happened down there, yeah, they'll be absolutely fine. You know, you're seeing slower builds in areas where there's not as much new development. Where the new developments are, the builds are going quicker because it's easy for the trades to get in and out. They can start at 6 a.m. They can start a little bit earlier if they want to. They're not waking up people around them, sort of thing. Yeah, you see it. Anyway, great. I didn't know that much about Mundy Jong, and I live not too far from it, so anyway, I just knew where the pub was.
I do a lot in Mundijong. I do a lot, but I really believe in it. Like, I really, because I know what's happened, like, around Baldivis, and I obviously know what's happened to that Hilbert Whitby, so you're like...
I need to steal some of that energy and start pushing it now.
I should sell for parcel.
Maybe, is it? Well, I think I was stealing that energy and pushing Mundy. I think now I know everything about it. I'll just send them the podcast.
No, just send it. Listen to me jabber for 15 minutes. You know?
This is it. But anyway, that's great. Look, again, we always love you to the comments we get, like and follow, subscribe to us. Subscribe is really important for us. Please subscribe to us. The more subscriptions we get, the more we can keep funding us and getting this done and bringing you what we think is pretty valuable information.
Okay.
So like, follow, subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye now.
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Land Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.